will update you. Okay, let me see if any proper steps is we are getting or not. Okay. Okay, fine. Then I think the only way we need to proceed with Nikhil. Yeah. So soap component is something like we are not going to depend on anything. You can immediately verify all the conditions in your Eclipse itself. All those practices is going to be UA related, right? Um, with respect to REST API, we are dependent on jar files, and the industry will prefer REST API only mostly, right? Because the reason and all you already heard in the recording, that is what you need to convey in the interview also. Like REST API is representation transfer protocol, right? Representation state transfer, or REST. Which language the opposite person is talking, that language itself I can able to reply, right? In SOAP component, there is a dependency like whatever language doesn't matter, but the mandatory condition is you should know XML. I should also know XML. That is the only condition in SOAP component, which is actually a drawback. If you are providing a service, you are selling something in the shop, you need to favor based on the customer side. If customer is talking in some other language, you can't or you shouldn't ask the customer to learn whatever the language you are comfortable to sell your product. No, you need to go with the customer side end, right? So REST API representation state transfer is like whatever the language the opposite side request is coming, the same language response you should do. So apart from XML, REST API can cover all the stuffs like a plain text, HTML request, JSON, so many stuffs is there. Okay, and as I told, like REST API depends on jar. Like we will be configuring more using annotations. So in the interview, how many questions you will be getting in REST API? 75% of the questions belongs to what all are the annotations you have used and what each annotation will do. All those things you should remember. So let us see some 2 or 3 samples based on different scenarios with respect to REST API. I believe already I shared the jar files for REST API to everyone, right? So everyone can download and keep it in your. So you can create some folder and you can keep it inside that. Some 4 set of jars I have shared, which we are doing sessions for all the advanced stuffs, including Hibernate. Is it possible?
Yes, just a second.
Okay. Okay. So have you downloaded the jars and extracted it?
I'm not
We
extracted.
are seeing only your Eclipse. Maybe if possible, you can share the whole screen. Stop sharing and
Just a
share
second.
using screen one option so that we can see what all are the jar files we need to load from that particular folder. Okay, maximize it. Maximize the downloads for Explorer. You can don't just do JAX-RS. That is the jar file we need now. So right click on JAX-RS and extract it. Not all the four, Nikhil. Right now, last one, JAX-RS is enough. Right, JAX-RS, not that one. Yeah, click extract. Okay, go inside that folder. Yes, go inside. 3 folders will be there. So we have jar files in each and every folder inside that. We need to get it. Okay, now go back to your Eclipse. Go back to your Eclipse. Create a new dynamic web project. Project name can be dynamic web project. Project name can be REST sample 1 or REST core. Just give the name as REST core. and click the next button, next till the last window, and check your XML. Yeah, check that box, click finish. Okay, so if you're having a normal Java project, we will be adding the jar files using right click build property, build path properties, right? Add external jars and you will add it. But with respect to dynamic web project, we shouldn't do like that, because it should sit inside your web content web.inf lib folder. Can you expand web content? Expand web content, expand web.inf. Okay, there. So if you are doing right click build path properties, all those jar files will be there at the top Java resources or somewhere, but it will not uploaded or updated inside your lib folder. So but this project, the web.xml will search for the lib folder location only. So all those files should be available in this lib folder. So the best option is you can drag and drop those jar files inside this lib folder. Open your Explorer, go inside one by one. Yeah, so drag and drop that file first. Okay, now come back, go inside. Yeah, Control A. Yeah, good. And the third folder also, last one also. Okay, this is the first step. Now open your web.xml. You need to configure what is your REST API, right? So you just copy paste the XML coding whatever I'm giving here. So let mapping. So here we are not going to play with the HTML files and all. Click the source button at the bottom. You are having design and source. No. Above your console window, you are having two options: design, source. Click the source. Yeah,
About.
source.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay. After line number 11, you can paste this. Paste this. Okay, have a look, everyone. Line number 12, everything. The whole item is a predefined item. Line number 14 and all, whatever the jar files you loaded, it is getting support from that loaded jar files only. What you need to be very careful is at line number 18, what is the package you are having? The exact package name you need to give. So right now, com.entos means, yeah, you need to create the same package, okay, in the reverse way. So in general, first you'll be creating a package, the same package name you need to give at line number 19. Out of apart from the line number 19, rest of the code is a predefined code, which for all the projects you need to have this. Line number 24, 25 is also a predefined. 25 we can see the URL pattern, rest slash asterisk. Rest is actually a keyword which you are going to add in your URL finally when you are going to run this project. So when you are running, you will know where we are using the rest keyword and all. Okay. Now let's go and create the package. Under Java resources, create a package. com.entos. Finish. Okay. Now create a class. Class name can be what you can give. Hello. Hello rest. What we are going to do is you're going to have a method. When you're calling the method, it will tell hello. This is a scenario we're trying to create. Okay. Finish. Now we are talking about responses, right? Whatever the line. If you're talking to me in Hindi, I need to talk to you, reply to you in Hindi. If you're talking to me in English or Tamil or Telugu, what is the language you're going to talk? I need to respond back in the same language. What is the condition for that? What is the requirement for that? Means I should know that language, right? If you're talking to me in Telugu, if I know Telugu, then only I can reply back in Telugu. So here you're going to have a method. When a person is calling a method, you're going to tell hello or hello friends something. But the probability of method, how many methods you need to have. It depends on you. How many languages you are going to provide the service, that many repeated methods you should have. For example, if I am calling this method from XML, you should reply me in XML code. If I'm calling, if I'm calling my method in HTML, you should reply back in a HTML code. So that many methods with the same logic we need to recreate. Not exactly, but more or less like a overloading, right? Okay. Now first create a method inside that, a simple method. Public string, public string. Um, say hello, or say plain hello. Public string, public string. Method name, say plain hello, or say text hello, anything. Yeah, plain hello. Yeah, say SCAY, say text hello. Okay, and you can pause inside. You can have a return statement. Have a sysout also, so that we can see which method is executing. Before return, have a sysout inside plain method. Double quotes inside plain method, and your return statement should have a simple thing: return double quotes hello friend, double quotes hello friend. Now next method you are going to have for XML. So public string, say XML hello. You can copy paste the method 2 more times. One for XML hello and another one for HTML hello. Second one XML hello, and third one HTML hello. For XML, I will give you the code. You need to replace statement completely in your code. Copy this and replace, just like, no. You can have a printout, sysout you can have. Just only the return statement you are going to change. Say XML hello. Yeah. Return, copy paste whatever in the chat. And HTML also I'm giving a return statement in chat. I copy paste this for line number 16. Okay, you can, okay. So this is how look out a return statement. So if you are talking in a console, line number 7 is going to execute. If you are talking via XML, line number 11 is going to execute. If you are talking via HTML, line number 16 will execute. And of course, in this web project, you are going to talk in a HTML only, right? Just give me 5 minutes, I will be back.
Functions in the cloud. And in the very next lecture, I'm going to take you through a quick hands-on lab. Are the two of the core services of the AWS serverless platform. So if you're ready for a API, if you're ready, let's get started. Sign into your AWS console at aws.amazon.com. Simply start typing API in the search box, and you should be able to get to API gateway. If you haven't created any APIs before in this account, this is the screen you're most likely to see. AWS does change more or less. So here you'll find an option to create an API. We're going to create a new API manually. Our API will now be presented with this resources screen where we create resources and methods for our API. Go to Actions and click on Create Resource. Let's call it Message, for example. And AWS will suggest a resource path or an API endpoint. This will be appended to our API's root URL. Hit the Create Resource button instead of the manual approach or an API endpoint. This will be appended to our API's root URL. Hit the Create Resource button. Ways of each of those appear. Have our resource created, we'll add a method to it. A method is an HTTP verb like get, post, patch, delete, and so on. So from the Actions menu, choose Create Method. And here you can choose any of the HTTP verbs. I'm going to choose the get method here, so we can test our API directly from the browser. Select the get method and click the checkmark button. We have a couple of integration types here. We have Lambda function, HTTP, mock, AWS service, and VPC link. What I'm going to do right now is select a mock response. So we simply hardcode and return a dummy response from within the API gateway. Click Save. This will take us to the method execution screen. It does sound a bit scary when you see the screen for the first time, but don't worry, it's easy when you understand the idea. When we make an API call, the
Yeah, I'm
incoming
back. Sorry,
request
guys.
is
You can
passed.
share, Nikhil. You connected, Nikhil?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can have a look at the return statement. So this is whatever the language the opposite person is going to speak, you need to have that particular method to reply back. So it is up to you how many types of service you are going to provide. So you decided to give three types of service here, right? One is as plain text and XML and HTML. Now the beauty is nowhere we are going to use the method name. You are having say text hello, say XML hello, say HTML hello, because if you are writing a condition like if a call is coming from HTML, call the say HTML HTML hello. If the call is from XML, call the line number 9 method. If you're writing a code like that, then it is a manual work only, right? It doesn't give any advantage or it doesn't reduce our work. The beauty is nowhere we are going to call with method name. Automatically, it will pick the language from whatever the language opposite person is coming. How we are going to achieve that? How we are going to achieve the automatic language selection, and also this shouldn't be a normal class. Right now your hello rest is a normal class because it doesn't have a main method also, right? So how it is going to get initiated? It is something a predefined item. Whenever we are calling, it is going to execute. So we need to do all the configurations. You are going to tell this is not a normal class, this method should speak this language. All these things you need to configure using annotations, web service annotation. Okay, first the annotation for your class. After line number 2, give an annotation, path annotation, @ p only caps, path caps, open and close parenthesis, double quotes slash parenthesis inside the parent. After path, open and close parenthesis, open and close parenthesis, double quotes slash. Now give the whole class name in lowercase, hello rest in lowercase. Lowercase, maybe you can change h also small or also small. What is this means? As I said, nowhere we are going to call method name or even your class name also. In somewhere, if you need to call them, you shouldn't call with the direct name. For all the items, you should give some alias name. Alias name is whatever the name you are giving is a path annotation. The name itself telling path means the way, right? So in the URL, you are going to type this hello rest only. It is not mandatory that it should be lowercase or uppercase, or even you can give your name also, like Nikhil also you can give for this hello rest class. Whatever the name you are giving inside a path, that is what you are going to use. Just to avoid confusion, we are giving all the class name in small letter. Okay, import the package. Okay, now method. First, we will be adding some couple of annotations for method. First annotation is you need to tell whether this method is going to act as a get method or post method. Here we are not going to deal with any secured information, so you can add get annotation for all the three methods. After line number 7, at the rate get, all are caps. Give one more enter after line number 6. And after get annotation, you are going to add one more annotation for your method. That is the annotation. It is going to tell which language this annotation is going to talk. First, import the package for get. And next line, import the package. And next line, the annotation name is produces. At the rate, only caps. Produces, CES. Produces, PUCES. Open and close parenthesis. Media type, capital M, capital T. Media type. No double quotes and all. Media type, capital M, capital T. Hold on, you are using a wrong producers. At line number 3, your import says different. All your import should be ws.rs only. Delete line number 3. Now place the cursor on producers and import the correct package. It should be ws.rs, second one. And media type, put a dot. You'll be getting a feature called text underscore plain. Type text, put control space, text, control space, text, x, underscore plain, yes. Okay, and that's it. Now copy paste for all the methods, and you need to change only the media type, like text underscore HTML, text underscore XML, like that. Second one is text underscore XML, string type. Any questions till now, anyone? I think we completed. That's it with the core Java. Here you are providing a core Java method, but you are putting the core Java method in a web-based applications. Why we are putting web-based dynamic web project? Because you are going to provide your service over the web so that others can access and use it, right? And what concept we are trying to see? The logic of the method is going to be same. All the three method is going to welcome you like a hello friend, right? But which language it should speak, that is what you are configuring using producers annotation. So using producers annotation, whatever the request type is coming, it will automatically pick that particular method. Okay, I think we completed everything. You can run and check the project. Right click on the project name, run on server. Right click on rest core, run as, run on server. Finish. Now at the end of the URL, you need to type first rest keyword /rest. This is the rest keyword coming from your web.xml. Initially I told you, right? So put a slash and give your class path name. Class path name is hello rest / hello path. Sorry, hello rest. And hit enter. There you go. Right? So maybe since this is running as a inbuilt browser, you are getting a random method. Sometime it will pick text hello, sometime it will pick XML hello. So to see a proper response, copy the complete URL, run in your Chrome or anything, but still you want to you need to share the whole application. We are not able to see other than Eclipse. Nikhil, maybe you can stop sharing and share screen on. Okay, open your any one of your browser, any browser, Chrome or Firefox, and paste that URL and hit enter. Okay. So see at the top of your page title is setting as hello, and your display is setting as hello. You can check your Eclipse console. It will execute it as HTML method because your request is coming from web page. Clear? Check in your Eclipse. Go to your Eclipse. So in the console you can see say HTML method. So have a look once again on the hello rest.java and let me know if you're having any questions. This is the basics of how you need to play or use with REST API. Any questions, guys? Here, go to your hello rest.java. Yeah, have a look. Niti, Garnesh, Rushi, any questions?
Yeah, I just have one question.
Mm-hmm.
From REST core, the next endpoint is /rest.
Hmm.
So where is that exactly?
Go to your web.xml. That's what I told you. Go to your web.xml. At line number 25, you are configuring URL pattern. How the URL pattern is the
Okay.
basic project path /rest/ asterisk means it can be either any response, HTML or XML. Generally, asterisk means what? It is picking all the types, right? That's what you are giving. If you are if you want to predefine into HTML or something, so some places will be giving star.html, something like that. But here it is a complete type, right?
Right, right.
Okay. If no questions, stop the server. Go ahead and create another project.
Yeah, just one more thing. So
Hmm?
why is a text being called here in Eclipse?
No, that's what I told you. We are checking in a inbuilt Eclipse web browser. It will not be same all the time. Even sometime you will get some XML text also. Can you hit once again? It will pick randomly. What I'm trying to tell is this is not a correct place to check it. That's why I asked you to copy paste the URL from the real browser outside of the project, right? For you, it is giving text hello all the time. Even from my end or few other trainees, when they are running, they will be getting XML output here in the console and both of the top. So we shouldn't test inside the browser of this. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Stop the server, close the browser, and create a new project. REST form project name can be same thing. You need to recreate everything. File new project. Dynamic web project. Yeah. Project name can be REST form. Next. Select the XML box. Second step, drag and drop all the jar files to your lib folder. Done.
Yeah,
Okay.
done.
Now open your web.xml. You can copy paste from the previous web.xml. Line number, yeah, 13 to. Okay. after line number 11. Okay, now close all other, keep only this web.xml, close rest of the items, then it will confuse. Close next web.xml, close hello rest.java, everything. And also de-expand your previous project, rest core. Okay, now what we are going to do in this project, the name itself telling form. You are going to handle the form handling. In real time, what it is going to be happen, like let us say Nikhil is a master in Java. I know he will be providing services. I am a guy somewhere sitting in any different country. I know only HTML. Using HTML I know how to design pages, but I don't know any language like .NET or Java or PHP or whatever it is to write a backend logic. So the scenario here is I'll be creating my pages, my own pages, but I want help, or I can pay if someone is providing me the backend web service. So based on my page and requirement, Nikhil has to provide the backend web service. That is the scenario here. I'm going to pay him every month or yearly basis. Okay. So a page is going to be developed from a different person, and for that particular page, how you are going to provide the backend web service. That is what we're going to learn here. So now you can delete line number 6 to 10. Let's keep only index.html here. Yeah, delete. Okay, save it and right click on your web content, create new file, index.html. File index.html. Type the name as index.html. Let me give you the HTML code, very simple HTML code. See. Okay, copy paste. Okay, save it. So this is provided by different guy. Imagine everyone, this index.html is not in this project. It is individually coming from a different place. Imagine like that. Okay. So at line number 8, form action. That is where you need to update whatever the service location Nikhil is going to provide. Rest of the item is a normal design part, right? So let's create the backend logic and then update the action tab. Go ahead and create a package under Java resources. Into us and create a class. Into us, create a class name can be maybe form registration. Finish. Okay, here, yes, we are going to have one method, and that method only going to receive when the form is clicking submit. This method is going to receive all the information in the design. What is the return type of this method? So now the request is coming from HTML, that is predefined. So you don't need to have multiple methods and all. It's a predefined requirement. So when something is coming from HTML, you need to tell success or registered successfully, something like that. Where you are going to tell, you need to tell in the HTML itself. You need to reply back to the HTML person. So what is the return type? Already we have seen in servlet JSP, right? Like if you are printing something in the console, we will be using sysout. But if you need to write or print something in the page browser, you need to use a response. So the method type is going to be response class. So public response, capital R. Public response. Method name can be user registration or user register. Okay. And in the parenthesis, you need to get 3 parameters: string fname, string lname, comma int age. fname, lname, age. Age. Inside the method, sys out all the item, whatever you are receiving. Sys out fname, lname, age. Fname plus double quote space. And next line, going to return statement, right? Return response dot capital R, response dot status.
No, where do we import it? Which one do we import?
WS score, WSRS score, second one. Yeah. Okay. Now return statement after line number 9, return response capital R, response dot status dot status. Give values 200. 200 means what? You guys may see an error over page 504, 404, something like that. That is the error code. Like that, 200 means success. Okay. Still, we have not completed it. Don't put semicolon. Delete semicolon. After 200 closing parenthesis, put a dot. You'll be getting an entity method. Entity of, entity open and close parenthesis. Now give your message in double quotes like registered successfully. Registered successfully. And at the end put one more dot. You will be getting a build of method. At the end of the, after the parenthesis. Put a dot, build of method. Yeah, that's it. Semicolon. So this will write register successfully in your web page. Okay. Now what is the only stuff missing? The annotation. First complete path annotation for your class. As I said, you can give any name, right? Now you can test giving different name. Path, open and close, double parenthesis, double quote slash. Give some only name as register, slash register. Okay. Now for a method also, okay, one question you didn't ask, you guys. In the previous example, what we are seeing, we are having 3 methods, but same logic. Okay, fine. So you don't need to worry about the name of the method. I agree. What it will happen if you are having a scenario to have two different methods. For example, if you are creating an addition method, you need to create 3 methods. One addition method for HTML, one addition method for XML, and one for plain. 3 addition methods. Now, if you need to have a subtraction method also means, so you will be having 3 addition methods and 3 subtraction methods for 3 different languages. So right now you are having 6 methods for 2 different logic. So what you need to do, you need to categorize whether you are calling an addition method or subtraction method. Based on that category, it will pick the method language automatically. So in that kind of scenario, you can have path annotation for method also. Path addition, path subtraction, how you are giving for class. Like that you can do for method also. It's optional one, but in this kind of scenario, you can do it. But this method, yeah, we are going to have only one method, but still, let's practice on that. So have a path annotation for your method also. And give name something like user, double quote slash user. And one more annotation, the method type. So right now we are dealing with secured information, right? So you can have post, all are caps, post. Now finally, what we are import the package. And finally, what we are trying to see here in this method is form handling, right? Line number 12, you are receiving 3 parameters, string f name, 12. fname, lname, age. So you need to configure all the three parameters. Before of each and every parameter, before string fname, you should have one annotation. Before string fname at line number 12, before string word, at the rate, annotation name is form param. F and P is caps. Form param. Open and close parenthesis. Form param, open and close parenthesis, double quotes. You need to give the exact name what the guy gave in the index.html. I think right now you can visit index.html once. Go to index.html. So you can see name fname, name lname, name age. So the exact name you should give inside the form param. So now copy paste form param and put for rest of the two steps also. Okay. Now finally you need to update the form action in your index.html. Right now the index.html is sitting in the same project. So we are not going to give any IP address. You can start from the rest keyword. Action double quotes, rest slash, your class path name is register, right? So rest slash register slash your method path name user. Go to your index.html. Form action at line number 8. Inside the double quotes. Rest slash your class path register slash user. Rest slash. In real time it will be some IP address, right? Or a website name slash rest, like that it will be. Now run and check. Right click on your project. Yeah, run on server. Okay, type the data and see. Okay, so in the console you are getting the information and also you are returning registered successfully from your backend web service. This is so the hero we are here is form param annotation. In the interview they may ask how you will be handle the form handling or how you will retrieve the information from a web page. Means you should tell using form param annotation we can retrieve the values from any page. Any questions here, please ask me. Niti,
No, Vijay.
Sapnesh.
Vijay, like this, you had given at the right path, right? Like for methods or classes. So
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't care about the name, but it just cares about like where we are going to use that path, right? So it should be like above the class. Like if there are a couple of other classes as well in the same Java the .java form. Uh, so will that
So,
take with yeah
yeah, go ahead, complete your question.
yeah will that only will Java recognize that with the path which has been underneath the class?
You mean you are asking the format where we need to give the
Correct.
annotation?
Yes.
Yeah, that is a format. It's a predefined format. You can see all the annotations will be above the starting point of something like a class or method. You already seen one annotation in your core Java. Do you remember the override annotation, right?
Correct. Correct. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so that will be above the method name, right?
Correct.
So the format, the syntax is that there only you should give above the class or above the method name. Even for variables also you can say you can have annotation. Going forward, we will see some annotation in Spring Auto Wire and all. For variable also we'll be setting annotation. So it's a rule that it should be above that particular item.
Okay, so like it's like for RESTful API or in Spring, like we use the same format, like we use annotations and we
Yeah,
do the
exactly,
things. Okay, okay,
exactly.
Okay.
As I told you, I think I discussed with everyone or only Nikhil or someone. I think I discussed with you only, right? Spring is not like a different one. You are going to recreate everything, whatever you already learned in Spring, right? So
Correct.
most of
Yes.
the items you will be using, you will be recreating the same only.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. If no questions, you can go ahead and create a new project. Stop the server in the console. Create a new project. Dynamic web project. Project name can be REST. Next. Select your XML information. Okay. Okay, I forgot to tell one thing. Okay, don't do drag and drop jars and all. Do you guys worked on Maven project? Anyone? Maven architecture? What do you mean by Maven setup? Anyone?
No,
Maybe Nikhil?
no, no, no,
Nikhil, you didn't work on it?
no.
Maven is a architecture. We can call it as Maven architecture or Maven project, something like that. I asked you to download few jars, like you'd already download SQL for JDBC, right? Do you remember? MySQL connector jar and all. In the
Yeah.
list, I asked you to get the jar from the Maven repository website, right? Maven is a it means they may expect you should have some knowledge or experience in worked on Maven project also. It's an architecture. What is this architecture? It's a kind of project setup which will provide you so many features. Also, it can reduce so many manual works. Um, if you are taking a project in your hand, you will be doing a development and you will be doing unit testing, right? And you will be building the version of the project out. Let's say Nikhil is compiling 1.0 version. Later on, he is doing some changes. He can keep the older version also, but when he is compiling again, he can generate 1.2 or 2.0, like that build also can do so many things, and or build or unit testing, and so many predefined architecture is available. You can work your core Java in Maven project also. You'll be having a direct option also. Go to file, new. Do you see Maven project here? Yeah, click the Maven project. So click next. So here you need to select which type you are. By default, whatever it is, fine. So 1.1, click next. You are going to work on a web-based project. You are going to work on a core Java, all those things. Group ID, artifact ID is kind of project name, everything. Okay. So now cancel it. We can convert the already created project into Maven project. And apart from the build, unit testing, or whatever it is, apart from the main feature of Maven project is you no need to download and import the jar files manually. Maven project is a kind of dependency setup is automatic. Means when you are creating a project itself, it will ask you what is the dependency. Dependency means what? For this project, what and all you want. If you are working in a project with database, core Java with a database, of course you need MySQL or Oracle. When you're creating a Maven project, you need to select or you need to pick. I need MySQL. I need if you're working on web-based, you need Tomcat. So many things. You need to select all the. It will give you a list. You need to select, and when you click OK, it is nothing but based on one XML file configuration, it will load all the jar files whatever is needed automatically. The only thing, you should have an internet connection so that it will take all the jar files from your Maven repository. That is not web.xml, that is pom.xml. Pom.xml is the one XML where it will be having the all dependency coding. Even you selected MySQL, okay, you created the project. Now your pom.xml is having MySQL information. Later on in the project, you want something else. Let's say you want to add JUnit or something else. You can get the code, ready-made dependency code from the net, even in your Maven site itself. If I'm asking you to import MySQL connector, you can simply Google it MySQL connector. You can download the jar. But if I'm asking you to add the dependency, go to Google. Nikhil, in your browser, go to Google. Type MySQL connector dependency. MySQL connector XML dependency. XML dependency. See, it is automatically coming. Yeah, you can select, click that dependency pom.xml. Click it. Scroll down, second one, pick the second one, mvnrepository.com. So here, you'll be having the coding here. Do you see anywhere XML coding? Okay, come back to the search. How can I MySQL? Okay, click that MySQL Java Maven dependency. I think fourth one, next one. Scroll down. Do you see the XML codings? Yeah, here you go. The dependency code. So this is what you need to copy paste in your form.xml. So later on, whatever the dependency you need, first time only you will be selecting the option. If you missed something, then later on you can copy paste this. When you are copy and paste and control save your XML, automatically you can see it will get downloaded from the net. That is what we are going to see now. Okay, let's see. Go to your Eclipse. We created normal project, but you can still convert it. Right click on REST path. REST path. Go to new. Sorry, not new. Configure with. At the bottom you can see configure. Convert to Maven project. Yeah. Okay. You don't need to give anything. Just give finish. Okay. It will take some time, and you can see pom.xml is generated. At the bottom right hand side, you can see the configuration percentage. It will show. Bottom right hand side. Are you seeing, everyone? Yeah. Okay. Now it's completed. Now open your pom.xml. At the bottom, you are seeing pom.xml. Click it. So here you go. Right now, this is the default one. Since we are converting, the selection option was not came automatically. Now you can add this manually. Right now, you're working web services. So just C or JAX or JARS, we need to add, right? Let me give you the dependency code in the chat. Just copy paste it. Control C. Enter. Yeah, it's enough. Okay. You need to copy and paste inside. Okay, don't have dependencies tags. Okay, this is the default one. Before pasting, Nikhil, copy and go after line number 6. Line number 6. First add dependencies tag. Tag name is dependencies. Less than simple. Yeah, in between you need to place this dependencies, all the 3 items. In between the move the end dependency to the next line. Now paste it, do Control S, and everyone can look at bottom right hand side. It will automatically start downloading the jars. Paste it, Nikhil. Yeah, Control S. Okay, building workspace. So it is downloading the jars automatically from the net. So in this scenario, where manual work is reduced, you need to add. What is the benefit is the first 2 projects, Nikhil drag and drop the jar files. If Niti or Dharnesh or anyone is asking him to provide me the copy of the project, if you are zip and send it, it includes jar files also. So the zip file memory is going to be very high. But if Nikhil is sending a copy of REST path, the jar files, whatever is downloaded, you can see expand Java resources, libraries, Maven dependencies. See here, this is downloaded just now for Nikhil. It is only going to provide support for this project. But if Nikhil is sending, right click on respath, copy, zip, send it to others, Niti or anyone, if he is sending, these jar files will not attached or available in that project folder. When, for example, Dharnesh is getting the RESTful path folder from Nikhil, he is importing in his Eclipse. At the time, based on the pom.xml, it will download the jar files from his end. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell everyone? Right? So, like this, so many features will be there. And as I said, you can see build, target, everything will be there. Okay. Now, minimize the dependencies. Go to your web.xml. Here, the web.xml is a little different since we are using Jersey jars. I will give you the coding in the chat. Yeah. Copy.
Where do I put
After line
this?
number 11.
Yeah.
After line number 11. We don't need this welcome file list and all. Okay, save it. So all these things taking support from the jar files, it is automatically loaded. Now go to source src, create a package under Java resources, com.n2s. Okay, first, yeah, create a package class. Okay, hold on. So what we are trying to see in this project, the name is telling path means what? You can take an example of the previous one itself. The form handling. So I designed the page, you are providing this service. When I click submit, your logic is working. You are retrieving all the information from my end and assume that you are storing in database in your end, right? Of course, we need to store in the database. Not only registering, right? Sometime I will be asking Nikhil, hey, you stored the 100 data, right? I want data 59, user ID 59. You need to provide the information. So he will be providing all the information to me for the particular user ID 59. Okay. Now, how I'm going to send this 59 to Nikhil? Just to send the data, I no need to have a HTML page and all. In the URL path itself, I can send a data to Nikhil. So from the URL path, Nikhil will read the user ID and he will provide the information to me. That's what here what we are seeing is path handling. Okay. So let's have a bean class first. Right click, create a Java bean class. Class name can be bean. Oops. Bean. Finish. So you can create some beans like a private string name, private int ID, int age, and create constructor or getter and setter methods. Have getter and setters. String of name, private int ID, private int age. Source under source. Source. Generate getter and setters. Okay. So now you will be getting the ID. For that ID, you are going to provide the age and first name, right? The kind of scenario. Okay. Now, another thing what we are going to see, one more thing. Already we have seen here in this project, so many things you are learning. One is how to handle Maven project. Second, path handling is the hero. That is what we are learning. Apart from that, there is one more thing, JSON, like how you are dealing with HTML or XML or plain text like that. JSON, JavaScript oriented notation is also industry hit item, right? So how secure you can send a data using JavaScript oriented notation. That is what how you can provide the output in JSON format. That is also we are saying. So maybe you can create a class, new class, and give the name as test. No. Why you are going? Yeah, come right into us. Name can be test JSON or path JSON. Give the name as path JSON. Finish. Okay. Now have a method inside the class. Method name can be send info. You are getting and going to send the info, right? So return type is going to be your bean class name. So public bean send info, and you are going to receive parameter int id. Send info parenthesis int id. Okay, and inside the method for that particular id, you need to send back name and age, right? So create an object for bean class. Bean b equals new bean. New bean, and next line b dot. You can set the id also. Where bean dot set id. Now you no need to give any manual id. Whatever the id you are receiving, you need to send back. So id is enough. Variable id. And next line b dot set f name age. You can send any value. B dot set name. Okay, double quotes any name, and set age. Any number. I think set age is integer, right? You shouldn't use double quotes. Okay, now return b. Return b. Now complete your annotation for class first. Path annotation for your class. Any name you can give, or you can give the same class name in small letter. After line number 2. Slash path JSON maybe. Now for method we need to add a couple of annotations. We can have get type, because just you are receiving id, right? So no need to worry about security. So at the rate get, all are caps. And you can have a path annotation for this method also. You are not going to give the name. It is different. Have a path annotation. Next line path, open and close parenthesis, and inside the parenthesis put double quotes slash open and close curly bracelet. Inside the curly bracelet you need to give id, because this is the format, the url you are going to receive the id. Okay, and one more annotation for your output, producers json, right? So use the producers annotation. Producers media type dot producers, open and close parenthesis, media type capital M capital T. No double quotes allowed. Put a dot. You will be getting an option application underscore JSON. Written is string only. It is already coming. Some fifth item, I guess. Application underscore JSON. Yeah. Okay. Now final one, hero. We are doing here path handling. So at line number 14, int id inside the parameter. For int id, you should have one annotation before int keyword. In the previous project, you are using form param. Here you are using path param. At the rate path param, both p are caps. Now open and close parenthesis, double quotes id. Double quotes id. That's it. Save it. Now run and check. Run as run on server. Yeah. Finish. Okay. Now at the end of the URL, rest slash your class path. What is the class path? Path JSON, right? Path JSON. Path JSON slash. Now pass any number slash maybe 25. Yeah. Okay. 12. Hit it enter. Oh, there's something wrong. Go to your console. What error you are getting? Localhost 800. Did the class path is correct? Nikhil, check the class path name. Path JSON. Correct, right?
Yeah, looks like it. Yeah.
Why you are getting this error? Path. Okay, I got it. Nikhil, line number 3 is your issue. Different package. Delete
Oh,
it. Make sure you are importing from WRS core. Okay. Run and check. Stop the server and run and check. Okay, do it same. Rest slash. Yeah. Yeah, control C. Good. Save the file. Save the file in your desktop. The extension is going to be whatever number you passed dot js. Okay, save it your desktop. Yeah. Go to your desktop. Okay. Word or Notepad, anywhere you can use. So this is how JSON data format will be. Okay. So you are receiving a number int why it is okay ID. Okay, fine. Good. So in real time, you will be receiving the ID. You will be doing JDBC connection, right? So in the database, you'll be writing a where query. Select star from user details, where ID equals 12. You'll be retrieving all the information from the database, and you need to send back the information like a JSON format like this. Clear, everyone? So in your own project, we have seen so many good stuffs. Go back to your Eclipse. Let me know if you're having any questions. That's it with REST API. You need to practice a lot. Even little bit more annotations might be there. You need to check what each annotation. You can get a list of annotations over the net for REST API with explanation and go through it. Let me know if you're not comfortable or you are not understand for any particular annotation. You can come back. And these are basics and very important annotations. Questions, Dharnesh, Niti, Rishi.
No, Vijay. I'll try to check some other examples.
Okay. T. Okay. If no questions, I am going to play the theoretical discussion thing of recording of Hibernate so that tomorrow we can see examples for Hibernate and complete Hibernate also as possible, as soon as possible. Okay. Okay. You can stop sharing. You can let me play the recording. Maybe I'll be in the meeting. So once the recording is completed, if you are having any questions, please make a note and tomorrow ask me. I will explain. So once the recording is completed, you guys can leave the session. Okay. Okay. So we are stepping ahead into the next level of your database dealing, right? So far, we just learned the JDBC connection. I think you guys having a very good knowledge now in JDBC connection. What are the classes, interface methods are available, and what is the syntax to create a connection? How you guys are going to prepare the statement and using result set, how you have played with the data and how you need to write a queries really in JDBC connection. All those things we have learned. Now, the next trend with respect to the database happened was Hibernate, Java Hibernate. What is this guy going to do is even after starting the JSP servlet itself, we know the preference or the feasibility of using XML items, right? It is going to be a common language for your technology, any other technology, even in web services you have played a lot. Okay, so this guy Hibernate is going to take part of that XML. Okay, what this guy is going to do? What is the difference between having a JDBC connection and having a Hibernate is? Hibernate is a framework again. You know what do you mean by the framework? So many things is already developed. You are going to reuse it. And this guy is actually going to act as a mediator between your Java and your database. That is the implementation level. Easy plug-in, easy plug-out. Okay. So mediator means the mediator who is going to act upon is your nothing but your XML. Okay, one thing. Now what all are the things it is going to take responsibility with respect to the database compared to a JDBC connection kind of stuff is in JDBC what you have done you need to create a connection, okay, and you need to play with the results set data whatever you are sending and receiving using statement and all. Here you guys are going to mention all those configuration properties in XML only, not in Java. Also to communicate with your database. We are talking that this guy is going to act as a mediator. So your Java coding and your database is not going to talk directly. In that case, how your Java is going to send a query to SQL? Your Java is talking to Hibernate in a XML way, not in a query through SQL way. So how it is going to talk with that is the primary item to deal with the Hibernate framework is the Java beans, which we already learned. You know very well how to create the Java beans item, right? So private variables and having getter and setter methods, maybe even constructor overloading also. So that is the primary item in your Java Hibernate setup. So let's see how we are going to implement all those stuffs in Hibernate. Okay, so Hibernate is going to interact with the database. Okay, ultimately the available if you have downloaded and imported in your fast performance. Okay, and query Hibernate query language. What this guy is going to do is it is going to eliminate writing direct query inside your Java coding almost 90 percentage. With respect to 10 percentage, what does the 10 percentage is going to do is just going to have a Hibernate query language, not really a SQL query. It eliminates 90 percentage of the query and 10 percentage very simple kind of direct query you are going to use. Also that also with respect to your Java beans only, not with your SQL database. Okay, so if you remember in JDBC connection, you need to create a string to write a complete query and using statement you will be executed. Now your Java can only talk to your Java beans, and the Java beans can talk to your Hibernate XML files. XML will talk to your database. This is the flow. Okay, so no need to write the query, real SQL query in your programs. And automatic table creation is also possible using Hibernate query language. From this end, you can create a new table to the SQL side also. Apart from these database activities, it can provide you the statistics for query and database. You know the statistics means, right? How long the query processes and how long you guys are hitting the database again and again, so many stuffs. And finally, uses ORM tool. That is what the explanation, whatever so far I have given to you with respect to Java Beans. ORM means Object Relational Mapping. Okay, first I will explain you how exactly it is going to work. Just try to understand clearly. We are talking that that you are not going to write a query. Okay, then how the database table and your Java code is going to interact is how many tables you guys are having in Java. That many table. For example, you are having one table. Okay, the table is having user ID, username, password, three fields. So the very important item is for each and every table in your SQL, you should have a Java bean class in your Java with the same variable. I mean, the variable name should be same as your column name in your table. If you are having two tables, login table, register table, each table is having three columns. Then in this end, Java end, you should have two classes, login bean, registration bean. Each class should have the exact three variables with getter and setter methods. And the mediator is going to be there, right? We are talking about this end to that end, but there is one mediator, the Hibernate XML guy. In XML also, in XML only you are going to tell this bean from the Java project is for this table in your SQL database. That is a place you are going to mention all the stuffs. Okay, clear on that? Any questions so far? Anyone? Srija, Ravi Shankar? Okay, okay. And what are the other features? Coming again, the third point, internal cache. Cache means you already know the storing the temporary items in your browser end, which we have seen with respect to JSP servlet, cookies, session, so many things. Here, how this guy is going to act is it will take the performance oriented with your database connection also. We need to deal with the database connection properly, very carefully. That's why we always use it to close the connection whenever your work is completed. Close the statement results properly when your work is completed in JDBC connection. Here, two things is there. One is you are going to insert a record in a table. Okay, user ID, username, password is there. You are going to insert a record. You are sending an insert query. Okay, within some 5 seconds or 10 seconds you are sending another insert query. Each and every 5 seconds gap you are sending another insert query. So if you are sending like this for 10 times, 10 times you need to knock the door, 10 times you are hitting the database for the same process. So what this guy Hibernate will do is for all the time, when you are sending an insert process, it will wait for few seconds or few microseconds or milliseconds to check whether the same process with different data is coming again for the same table. If it is coming again, it will collect that also, and it will again wait for milliseconds or microseconds for checking the third item. If for certain time no data is coming, then it will knock the table. In a single knocking, it will insert both of the records. So here we are eliminating the number of times you are going to hit the database. So the performance is going to be more, right? Like you know that already. Today we need to deliver 10 posts for this address in a 30 minutes gap. So if you are every 30 minutes, if you are going and knocking the door, it will be irritating for the customer. So you can wait till you are collecting all the 10 posts, and at a time in a single delivery you can complete that. That is what Hibernate also will perform with your database, which reduces lot of time consumption, also reduces lot of performance issue with respect to the database. That is one very big major uh, to Hibernate. And second item is you are sending this query Instead of hitting the table, it can give you the same results what it has given to you few minutes back, the very same data, because those items are in the cache memory. You guys can ask question what it will happen if the table data changed. Let's say you are selecting a query, select star from table. After 15 minutes you are sending the same query, but Hibernate, without reaching the database, it is giving back the same data stored in the cache already before 15 minutes whatever it has given. So you can question me what it will happen in the 15 minutes gap if this guy has changed any data in the table. Then that is a wrong data whatever it is giving. But it will give the correct data only. Why? If there is no change happened in the table, then only it is going to give the data stored in the memory. If any changes happened, then it will reach the table and get the data. Then you may ask how it knows whether the data changed or what. The answer is simple. Even though you change the data or whatever you want to do with the database, you need to cross the Hibernate only. Hibernate only going to do that. So within the 15 minutes, if any changes is happened or not, Hibernate knows that. If you are inserting a new record also, this guy only going to do that. So this guy know that data has changed. If no changes made, this guy know no changes has made to the table. So he will be providing the correct answer, correct data only. So that is going to be internal cache. Cache is of so many levels we are going to discuss. First level, second level, or query level cache. The three types is there. Very important interview discussion. We will be discussing on that. Any questions so far? Anyone? Okay. And this is what I explained. The architecture. Your Java application will be there. A green color box is going to be your mediator, and database will be there. You can see in the green color box there are two files is there: Hibernate properties and XML mapping. What all are the items the Hibernate mediator is going to have is purely XML files. One is the configuration file, means you need to tell the database information. What is the database name, URL, port number, username, password, all those things. So far you have given in the Java coding in your JDBC, but now you are going to give in XML. That one file will be there. Apart from that file, you will be having mapping XML. What do you mean by XML mapping? Means, as I told you, for each and every table you are going to have a bean class. You need to tell this bean class for this table. That is called mapping. Where you are going to tell that in XML only. So that file is called XML mapping. Either you can have mapping XML files for each and every table separately, or you can create one common file, mapping.xml. In that file you can have the mapping information for all the tables together. It's up to you. And how the Java application and the Hibernate interlinked is using persistent object. Don't get confused with the word. It is just a technical word. They are using persistent object or persistent class, nothing but your bean class. Persistent class is nothing but your bean class. Persistent object is nothing but the variables you have created with respect to the database table column names. That's it. Any questions on this architecture? Okay. So ORM, object relational mapping. I think this is what we have talked so far. You can see uh, the first point at the middle. This creates in effect a virtual object database that can be used from within the programming language. That is the scenario I told you for getting the same kind of set of queries. Persistent object to handle virtual object database, and persistence, it is availability of object or data even after the process that created it is terminated. Even though your database is terminated at some point, any issue with that, still you want to get some generic data, select star from table, this guy was able to provide it to you, the old data from the cache level. That is what object relational mapping, ORM mapping. Each and everything is going to be a Java beans now with respect to your table. Remember the point. Even you are going to learn Hibernate today, later sometime you are going to learn Spring Hibernate, maybe Spring Boot Hibernate, also Spring Hibernate with JPA, Java Persistent Success, I guess. In all the places, we are going to deal with Java beans corresponding to the table. Okay. Again, this is a simple architecture. So you know what all are the relationship involves with any particular table, one to one, many to one to many, many to many. All the relationship is possible using a Hibernate mapping. You just need to know the procedure, how to configure those tags in your XML files. And as I told you, by remember what right with respect to the XML coding in the XML files. You just need to know where you need to put whatever you are getting in hands. If I'm giving 5 items for you, create a Hibernate project. You just know that where and all you need to put the corresponding items. That's it. That is a setup, right? That is what even we discussed in the previous thing. From here onwards, yes, Hibernate or upcoming Spring Boot or whatever it is, you guys are actually not learning anything new. You are learning just to assemble the item, assemble the setup, or assemble the project. You need to build the base. That's it. Apart from the on the base, on the top of the base, you can build your ideas. So initially, whatever we are doing now, even today, practice is the setup. Once the setup is done, recreating for all other tables, recreating for all other logic is very simple. You are simply going to copy and paste. Also, no one is going to ask you to assemble the product without giving the manual in your hand. Manual is available. Even you can refer in net, or from this session you can make a notes, the steps or procedure. What all are the steps we need to do to set up the assembly? And all the things I'm going to teach that only. I'll be giving you the setup. We are not spending more time on developing big projects. Once the setup is ready, you can develop big projects on your own. That's what we are learning. Okay. And the cache, come to cache. So it is a buffer memory that lies between the application and the database, okay, to store the temporary items. um, as you see, recently used data items in order to reduce the number of database hits as much as possible. I explained that also. Types of cache: first level, second level, query level. So here onwards, with respect to Hibernate onwards, we are going to connection. We are having a flow. First, you need to create connection, and you need to create statement. From statement, you need to create a result set, reference variable or object. Like that here, the order will be, I think, configuration, and then session factory, and then session, and then transition. Session factory is a group of sessions. Session is the individual item for that particular session, and using that session, you are going to do the transition. So this cache level, memory storage, related to that level of session factory and session. Okay. So first level cache is a default cache. You guys no need to manually enable it or code it. Nothing is required. It's a default cache under session object. Session object is the end item you guys are going to use, right? So the query cache or query or second level cache is an optional item. If you want to use those level cache, you need to manually enable it in XML coding, and then all these caches belongs to session factory level. Remember, session factory level. Very simple, guys. In the very first session, when we are talking about JVM, garbage collection, memory management, I told you that the JVM is going to treat the object as the temporary item initially. It will keep on check for the object whether its duty is over. Till then, it is going to treat that object as temp object. Once it crosses some limit, JVM decided that it is a permanent object, we should not delete it, then it will move to the permgen space, permanent memory space. The same thing here. First level cache is the default cache and the temporary cache, and recently data used will be stored in your session object. If you decided, if you are having a scenario or a requirement to maintain those cache in a in all the time, even after the temp, then you need to move to the second level cache. That is from your, that will get happen in your session factory. Okay. First level cache, okay, mandatory and default cache, okay, that's what I told you. Second point is very important. Session object holds the cache data to entire application. Third point also I told you, it's a temporary thing which is not at all going to available entire application. Okay, an application can use as many session object. Have a look here. Second level cache is the optional one, but still if you want to enable it, you need to enable it manually. You can see the coding part, the syntax of how to enable those things. And the third point is very important. Session factory object holds the second level cache data. And fourth point, the data stored in the second level cache will be available to entire applications, but we need to enable it explicitly. That's what I told you. Okay. Any questions on this first level and second level? Anyone? Yeah, and this is the architecture you guys can see. Forget about the bottom two items. Remaining thing is the normal transaction. So if you want to enable a scenario for a session factory, second level cache, which is need to be enabled for available for entire application, then you need to do manually the bottom item, session factory. Second, move those from the first cache to session to session factory. And the third item is query level, which is related to your query. If you are keep on sending the same kind of query, then you can save that query in a query cache. Using that, you can have a syntax of that coding. Whatever you guys are seeing in the right hand side. I mean, query equals session dot create query of from employee. That is Hibernate query language. You are trying to select all the items from employee table, means you need to write a query like this, create query of from employee. That's all, that is a query. Now here from employee, the employee is not a table name, guys. The employee is your login bean name corresponding to that particular table. Nowhere in the Java coding you are going to deal with the table directly in your database. You will be dealing with your Java coding and persistence, I mean your bean objects only. So if you want any query, you need to talk to your bean class only. Okay. Okay, and here you go. The steps to assemble the Hibernate project. You can do either in a web project or normal core Java. This is a different one, like a pen drive plugin for even your web-based applications or your core Java applications. Create the projects, add corresponding jar files for Hibernate. Create the bean class corresponding to the table. Whatever, how many tables is there, that many bean class you need to create. Sorry. Create the configuration file. You are going to write the XML coding to tell the database name and etc, the configuration stuffs, and then create the mapping file for your bean class and table. Configuration file is going to be a one-time activity. The fourth point is a one-time file, but fifth point, n number of files you can create. It's up to you. Either you are you going to have all the mapping syntax in a same XML, or you are going to create new XML for each tables. Finally, you can test it at line number 6. Okay, this is what we are going to see in today's exercise. So with respect to Hibernate, today we will be simply seeing how you can interact with the database, and tomorrow we'll be having one scenario, collaboration mapping, means how you can interact many to many or many to one relationship. So both are very important with respect to your interview discussion. This item I will come later. By this time, just remember generator classes. I mean, in your XML, mapping XML, there will be a tag called generator class, I guess. In there, you will be giving, in double quotes, you will be giving any one of the item as mentioned in this point. Either assigned, either increments, equals. Okay. All these things refers your the first item in your column of your table. Whether you are having a primary item, or not null, or auto increment, what you have declared in your database for the very first index item, that you need to mention using any one of these words. All these words not belongs to a same database. I think few is for only Oracle, few is for only MySQL. It is divided into that. For database and database, it will vary, because as you already know, in SQL we can easily do the auto increment directly, but I think in Oracle it is not a direct one, right? You need to create some sequences and all. So the words, whatever you are seeing here, you need to assign corresponding to the database you are using. Okay, that's it with the theoretical thing. Let me know if you are having any questions on any slide.